Welcome, this is Donna Fine with More Than a Review, and I am here with Summer, and she is the author of several books and in several different genres. So we're going to let her tell a little bit about herself and her books that she has.
Hi, well, let's see. I am an author. I grew up in upstate New York on a dairy farm, so very rustic. We had not a lot of things to play with except my siblings and I, and sort of grass and hay bales and things. No, we had toys too, but grass and hay bales and things are way more fun than regular toys.
We played outside then.
Yeah, we played outside all the time. I think that's a big part of why I became an author, because we just made up stories. We didn't watch TV. We didn't actually have a TV until sometime when I was in school. So that's that upbringing was a big part of it. And I write in 3 genres. I write fantasy books, I write Jane Austen inspired variations, and I write Regency romance. I have one of those here. This is the first book in a trilogy, Under the Shadow of the Marquise.
I love that cover, beautiful.
Thank you. I know, my publisher did a really nice job on that. It just came out great.
So tell us, is it hard to write in different genres? Like, do you have to get your mind, different, or?
I do. In some ways it's really great, because if you get stuck in one genre or you get a little burnt out, just writing about it, you can just switch. So it's great to be able to switch from ballrooms and all that propriety and white gloves to fantasy adventures where people have giant swords and they're chopping up the bad guys. It is fun. And I use music. I play different music depending on what I'm writing.
Very good. Yeah.
To get my brain in the right place.
Yeah. Well, and I know a lot of people they'll have songs that kind of go with the books that kind of inspired them. So tell us a little bit about the books that you write about Jane Austen.
Well, what those are is we do Pride and Prejudice. Those I write with a writing partner, Renata and which is actually how I got into writing Regency romance, because I used to only write fantasy, and I edited for Renata, and I would put in so many suggestions. One day she said, "Why don't you just write these with me?"
Wow.
So she is great. She makes beautiful plot lines. She's a math teacher. She just retired. But so what I do is she writes it out, and then I go in and put in all the mushy thinking and feeling and maybe descriptions of gowns and things that aren't as interesting to her, because she's all about the plot line and the specific moments in dialogue that move it forward, that type of thing. So we make a really good team that way.
Wow. I was wondering if it is difficult to write with another author, but I guess when you both have your strengths, that's excellent.
I like to put it, I say that she builds the skeleton and I put on the muscles, and we both work on the internal organs and we both work on the skin.
Oh, very good.
Kind of grim analogy maybe, but it's a very equal partnership.
Wow. So how many Pride and Prejudice variations do you have?
Oh, at least 20.
Wow, oh my goodness, I didn't realize.
I've been doing those for a number of years. We've had 6 bestsellers, Amazon bestsellers, both in the United States and in Britain.
Oh,
so that's very nice.
That's awesome, okay. So have you considered writing under different names for your different genres?
I did think about it. I write sweet romance or clean romance, however you want to put it, and there is always the temptation, maybe if I wrote one with a lot of racy scenes, maybe it would sell better. I could, it could be the novel that really, but it's really hard. It's difficult to build up your brand name, and I don't need to go through that twice.
Yes.
2, I found out early on, I wrote a sci-fi piece that got picked up by a magazine. I can't remember the name of it right now, I'm sorry. It got picked up by a magazine, a pretty big one, and so people would ask me to read it. And I made the character curse a lot, because it's who she was, and I don't curse, so I could not read my own work. And that taught me early on, don't write anything that you can't stand up in front of people and read. So, which is why I don't have a pseudonym and I don't write racy scenes.
Yeah.
Also, my dad reads my books. So.
Well, and your kids one day maybe, so yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, so my readers will be thrilled to know that, because on our website we rate books on the level of sex, violence, drugs, and alcohol and language, and so her books will be rated clean on our website. You'll see that.
All my romantic acceptance.
Yeah, that's awesome though, because we have seen, you know, after some books became wildly successful that were not clean, we saw a lot of people, you know, leaning toward that,
right.
And we do think it's coming back now though. We think there is, you know, there's an audience for everything.
I read both.
Yeah.
But there's only one that I'm willing to write.
Yep. Yeah. I do read both too. Okay, so I was also going to ask you, like, what is your writing kryptonite?
Now, I don't really know what you mean by that. What keeps me from writing, or
yeah.
Because right now it's my puppy.
Aww.
So I didn't know if you meant like a mental thing, like a stumbling block, or if you meant what.
Oh, it could be either. Yeah.
It's my puppy. Yes.
We are dog lovers, so that's
I love
awesome.
my puppy. It's the first puppy I've ever had, and it's definitely more work. I thought I knew how much work it would be. I was mistaken.
Yeah. Yes.
But he's really great. He's very cute.
What kind of dog is it?
He's a half English setter, a half German shepherd.
Oh,
He's got floppy ears and white paws, and he's very
lots
adorable.
of hair, I bet.
He has short fur, which is great.
Very good, very good. So, oh, we love dogs. That's awesome. Okay, so we'll ask one more question before we go over to Facebook Live, so you guys can catch us there. So tell us a little bit about what readers would be surprised to know about you.
What would readers be surprised to know about me? I've already said some of the things. I grew up in a dairy farm. Even though I grew up in a dairy farm, I never learned to milk cows.
Oh.
Because one time, this is how stubborn I was as a child, one time one of my aunts made fun of me because I didn't know how to milk cows yet. She was out working in the barn, and I said, well, I'm never going to learn how to milk cows. Which was a big mistake, because there are a lot worse jobs to do on a farm than the milking. I had to muck out stalls all through my teenage years because I had no skill sets. I could only push, a scraper. So if you're on a dairy farm and you're a child, well, now it's all automated, learn to run the milker. That's the job you want.
Oh, that's good. That is good. I think too, people would be surprised to know in today's age that you didn't have a TV until later. So I think that probably, could spur your creativity. So I love it.
It's at this age, the age I am now, I think it was great that we didn't have a TV. When I was about 11, 12, and we just gotten one around then, but we weren't allowed to watch it, except on Sundays we could watch all the PBS we wanted. So growing up in school, I didn't like it because my brother and I were weird. We didn't know what the other kids were talking about. But now I think it was a good idea.
Yeah.
There were a number of years when I didn't appreciate it, though.
Several things we could probably say about our childhood. I would be the same way. Thank you, Mom, now.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, thank you so much for being with us, Summer, and we're going to switch over to Facebook Live. We'll see you later.